The fortress of the conqueror, white tower. The camera performs a slow, dramatic push-in on the White Tower. The focus is on the sheer, formidable Norman architecture, the narrow windows, the thick walls. The scene cuts to interior shots of the chapel of St. John the Evangelist, stark and beautiful. Its heart is the White Tower. Built by William the Conqueror in the 11th century, this was more than a royal residence. It was a statement of brutal, absolute power, designed to dominate a conquered people. Within these walls, the Norman kings worshipped in private chapels and planned the destiny of a nation. Today, it houses the royal armories, the glittering, oversized suits of armor of Henry VIII, a man who was both a Renaissance prince and a tyrant. The concentric walls, a detailed animation reveals the layers of the tower's defenses: the outer wall, the moat, the inner curtain wall with its 13 towers. The animation dissolves into live-action shots of the various towers. This was a fortress within a fortress. Successive monarchs added concentric rings of walls and a series of intimidating towers, each with its own dark purpose. The Wakefield Tower, with its vaulted chamber, served as a royal throne room. The Bloody Tower earned its name from the most infamous crime in English history. And the Beauchamp Tower holds the desperate, final messages of those who were imprisoned within. The political prison. The Beauchamp Tower Graphitia macro lens glides over the cold, stone walls, revealing intricate, centuries-old graffiti. Elaborate coats of arms, names, religious symbols, and complex puzzles are etched into the stone. The camera focuses on the deeply carved name INE. For over 800 years, the tower was England's most formidable state prison. But it was a prison for the high-born, the privileged, and the politically dangerous. In the Beauchamp Tower, condemned men spent their final days, weeks, or years. With nails and knives, they carved their stories into the stone, a final, desperate bid for remembrance. These silent inscriptions are the voices of history's lost, crying out from the silence. The Traitors Gate. The camera moves through the Watergate, the infamous Traitors Gate. The stone archway is dark and damp, the water of the Thames lapping against the steps. A reenactment shows a hooded figure, a noble prisoner, being escorted from a barge into the fortress. This was the entrance no one wished to cross. Prisoners of state, brought by barge along the Thames, arrived through this Watergate. To pass under this arch was to understand one's fate. For Anne Boleyn, for Sir Thomas More, for the future Queen Elizabeth I, the journey through the Traitors Gate was a journey into a profound uncertainty, a gilded cage from which many would never return. The scaffold city, a slow, quiet shot of the serene, green lawn of Tower Green. The scene is tranquil, bathed in soft light. The camera then focuses on the simple, elegant glass memorial pillow that sits on the exact spot of the executions. A public execution on nearby Tower Hill was a brutal spectacle for common traitors. But for those of the highest rank, a more private, somber end was reserved. Here, on this quiet green, 3 queens of England met the axe, Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, and the tragic teenager, Lady Jane Grey. This secluded spot was chosen to spare the monarchy the spectacle of a public death, but it could not spare the profound human tragedy that occurred on this ground. The symbols of monarchy, crown jewels vault. The scene shifts to the interior of the jewel house. The lighting is low, dramatic. The camera glides past the glittering coronation regalia under brilliant, protective glass. Extreme close-ups reveal the incredible detail of the imperial state crown, the Cullinan II diamond, the Black Prince's ruby. Beyond the prison walls lay the ultimate symbols of power and continuity. The crown jewels are not merely ornaments, they are the sacred objects of the coronation ceremony, the divine right of kings made manifest. The imperial state crown, a masterpiece of 2,868 diamonds, is worn by the monarch at the state opening of Parliament. The sovereign scepter holds the Cullinan I, the largest clear-cut diamond in the world. These objects survived the English Civil War, a phoenix rising from the ashes of a republic to symbolize the monarchy's unyielding resilience. The ravens of the TOWR. The camera follows the Raven Master, a yeoman warder in his distinctive uniform, as he tends to the tower's legendary ravens. We see these intelligent, majestic birds strutting across the green, their wings glossy in the sunlight, but the most ancient guardians of the tower are not made of stone or gold. According to a legend dating back centuries, the fate of the crown and the kingdom itself depends on the presence of these birds. It is said that, if the ravens leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. And so, they remain, their wings carefully clipped, cared for by a dedicated raven master, a living, breathing piece of folklore that connects the modern world to a deeply superstitious past. The ceremony of the KEYS, the final sequence, takes place at night. The tower is illuminated against the black sky. We see the chief yeoman warder, carrying a lantern, meeting a military escort. The ritualistic challenge echoes across the cobbled stones, "Halt! Who comes there?" The response, "The keys." Whose keys? Queen Elizabeth's keys. Every single night for over 700 years, without fail, this exact ceremony has locked the Tower of London. Through plague, war, and revolution, this ritual has endured. It is a direct, unbroken thread to the Middle Ages. In this simple, 7-minute ritual, the entire history of the tower, its purpose, its tradition, its unwavering duty, is contained.